Mummy didn't like Huzz Manuel because she said he was full of babosadas, garbage.
Oh, I thought meatballs.
He's full of meatballs, that
He's
one.
full of tapas. She felt bad for him, but this is exactly why she hated hiking. It's actually not good for you at all, despite what everyone says.
Is this written by you, post me gashing my knee up? Looking at a sheep?
Maybe. Didn't see Josh having a coin collection.
No, but that makes me really fancy him now.
What, a coin collection?
Yeah, because he's a bit, like, different. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
he's got a little hobby that's, like, kind of cute.
No,
Yeah.
if he's going to be grabbing anything, I hope it's my tits.
Oh. Welcome to
episode 130.
Motherfuckers.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's Ghost Huns, and I'm Suzie, and that's Hannah, and I was late, and I'm sorry.
Oh, she was so late. Honestly, I'm fucking raging. No, I don't care.
Do you say yes?
Yeah?
Imagine I...
Do you want to keep that intro in?
Yeah, it was chaos, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We bring you haunted stories around the world. Big time, Big Sue, Hannah, innit?
Oh, no.
She's wearing a top that says queer.
That was culturally inappropriate. Suzie thought I was wearing a top that says queer and was like, congratulations for being such a wonderful ally. Although that wouldn't...
I thought you might be coming out.
I did touch your tit last night.
You did. Explain.
Yeah. No.
No. Anyway, I hope you're well.
We've basically what's happened is Saturday Night Fucking Live has come to the UK, and every comedian and its fucking auntie is sending in submissions.
Every bitch and its mother is fucking
sketch
applying.
submissions, which is losery, but we did it anyway. And me and Suzie did a most haunted sketch. Do you know what? Actually, if you want to see it, I'm going to put it on Patreon.
Yeah, it's a really good
I'm going to
idea.
fucking put it on Patreon. It's about a minute long, and it's me and Suzie doing a parody of Yvette Fielding and Derek Acora, R.I.P. And I touched Susie's tit as a bit of a bit.
And then Googled what he actually did, and he did actually.
And then we Googled it. Well, this
Yvette.
is a bit spooky because I had a look for spooky news, try and take some stress off you, but I might do it next time. Whatever, I don't mind. Take some of the stress off you because you were like, I'm bringing tarot cards, I've got to do the spooky news. I was like, you know what, I'll help a bit. And that's about Yvette Fielding. Anyway, so we found out that Yvette Fielding did actually accuse Derek Acora of groping her and pretending like it was a spirit, which is exactly what I did.
Very handy
Big
Yvette
Suze.
doing that when he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see?
Yeah,
Sometimes,
when he can't defend himself.
Yeah, these women.
Yeah, did they say that about Jimmy Savile? Let's not get into that.
Come on.
Let's not get into that.
It's all a bit of fun, and I know someone will come for me in the comments being like, oh, just don't say what you really think. And I'm like...
It's obviously a bit of fun. He was obviously a pervert. And, we did a sketch about them. So I'm going to put that on Patreon.
That's a really good idea.
And you let us know what you think of our parody.
There was a moment where Hannah was gyrating and pretending to touch her bollocks in my garden / not my garden, my friend's garden. And there was a woman just stood at the window just going...
Yeah, just staring.
That's me with my
open-mouthed.
jaw open, just staring, holding her mug of tea. And I was like, do you know what? It's not that fucking weird.
I'd Luke, to be fair. But it was funny because as we all looked, she went, oh, look at that tree.
Yeah, but then she carried on looking. And
Look over there.
I was staring straight back at her because I was like... Just move on.
Yeah.
I know we're shouting awful things.
Yeah. Give me a blowy. Maybe we should put up our sketches on Patreon.
We had a terrible wine, didn't we? Falangina, don't recommend it.
No, the rest were gorge.
Beefeater.
Beefeater was nice.
Yeah, the beefy Sophie B was lovely.
Yeah, we had a nice
and
time.
your petty Chablis from your naked box.
Yeah, lovely, my naked box. And a friend of the pod, James Barr, came round, didn't he? And we all did our sketches together.
Yeah.
Very from our own arsehole were they pulled.
Yeah, if one of us gets it, they're not allowed to take it unless the other two get it. We've written a contract. No, we haven't. But that's the rules.
What I was going to say to you before we started talking about the sketch, before we started recording them, is that even if we we won't get it. If we don't get it,
yeah,
absolutely fine, because I believe that most haunted sketch is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, and it will go down a treat on Patreon.
For a narcissistic point of view, your Yvette was a triumph.
Yeah, so was your
It was
Desmond.
really good. Desmond and Yvonne.
Desmond and Yvonne, yeah. Well,
So,
listen.
if you want to see that, go over to
The main
Patreon.
thing is, we think we're funny.
Yeah.
Even if no one else thinks that we are.
I think we're very funny.
Yeah, I agree. Right. You okay?
That really sounds like you give a fuck.
Are you well?
I had a bit of a funny ghost moment over the past couple of days because do you remember? Actually, do you remember when we were at my parents' and you saw a woman washing up in the kitchen?
I've never forgotten it.
Well,
she's got a cleaner in the basement.
No, so the cleaner came round.
Yeah.
About 2 days before the continued story happened. The cleaner came round because I saw her. And I know what the cleaner looks like. Then Stephen, Gay Stephen, friend of the pod, cameraman Gay Steve, went to do a garden because he's a gardener.
Yeah.
So he was doing a gardening and he said, oh, your mum's... he said, does your nan have a cleaner? Because I was in the garden doing the gardening. I looked over in the window and saw the cleaner and he's been catching up on episodes of the pod. And he said 2 minutes later, I heard Suzie talking about how there was a woman
doing the washing
up
in the window.
I said the cleaner came 2 days ago. She only comes once a week. So I texted me Nan and said, was there a cleaner in your house? And she said, no.
What the fuck? I told you. Oh my God, multiple witnesses. Oh my God, Steve. Steve.
I actually have to admit that is a true story, but then we found out that there was someone else in there.
Oh.
I know, I was going to keep it going for a bit, but I can't.
Who was it?
It was my sister's mate who stayed there while she was visiting.
Surely there was someone when I looked then.
That was weird, though. That was weird because there was no one there. There was definitely no one there because she said, no, the cleaner's not been. And then she texted me again saying, but Kelly was here. And I was like, oh, well, that'll be it then.
Kelly. Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah, Kelly.
But a bit of fun.
Wow. You had me for a second.
I wouldn't have told you, but I know Stephen's going to listen to this and out me.
Yeah.
And I like a bit of fun, do you know what I mean? I like a bit of fun.
But we won't lie.
We won't lie
We won't.
Go to our current ghost hunt and you'll realise that we don't lie or do fake scares.
No.
Although we are going to Romania and Susie's got us to go with this man to meet in the woods. And he's going to do scares.
To be like about his travel monster. We're going with this man, he's going to fuck up our plane.
We're going to go to the man in the woods and he said, for €300 I do you ghost hunt. For €500 I do you fake scare.
Fake scare, yeah.
Fake scare. And we said no, 300
I was like,
quid.
€500 is a fucking bargain for a fake scare.
Do you think so? Depends how shit it's going to be.
Listen, there's 6 of us going to a wood in the middle of the night to meet a man.
Well, you don't know how many fucking sex traffickers are going to be there.
How many, it's like a riddle. How many sex traffickers will Alex from Hoya Forest bring?
Yeah, how many sex traffickers does it take to get 4 comedians and 2 gay men into a sex into the back of a van?
How many organs will they be happy with before they leave us alone?
Yeah,
And out of the 6 of us, who are you pushing forward first to get their organs done?
Well, Adam's already not got 1 kidney.
Really?
He's only got 1 kidney.
Did he give one away to a man in a forest?
No, it blew up.
What?
It blew up.
Wait, one of his kidneys?
I don't know if blow up is the
Don't we have 1 kidney? No, 2, isn't it?
1 liver, 2 kidneys.
Right.
I always get confused between those 2, but it is 2 kidneys. And he's got a kidney hole. Got a hole in
Why did it blow up?
I don't know, a lot of fluid in it. I don't really know. It's a very boring story.
Right. He told you and you're like, la, la, la,
well, we were watching Desperate Housewives and he was really getting into Desperate Housewives. And I think Desperate Housewives is one of the best TV programmes around. It's got everything. And I came home one day and he was just sat staring at the TV like all blank face. And I was like, you okay? And he was like, I can't watch Desperate Housewives anymore because there's a bit where Susan has to have a new kidney and I found it triggering.
Oh my God, God bless
Never found him more unattractive. And I was like, cool. Fit.
Wait. And then you were like, he's probably told me the story, but
yeah.
that. We can't push him forward then.
No, he's useless to us. Who are we going to get? Who are we going to give?
What's Neil got? What are his innards?
And don't forget, me, Matt and Stephen, we've smoked. We live very, it's you and Neil.
Yeah.
You're going to be the ones they're going to be happy with.
Okay, I'll find out about what organs he's still got.
Yeah, I don't live a good life. I eat far too many pepperonis than a normal person should.
Yeah, pepperoni, fags and booze.
Things are not tip-top up here.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Shape.
Yeah, they're not ship shape.
Yeah, but I could still push you forward. They won't know that until they cut you up.
I'm going to be like, well, give me a second. I'll come, but let me have 40 fags.
Let me have a fag break, and they'll be like, oh, no.
We did talk about this, and Stephen was like, nobody's going to want you to. Talking about me and Matt, and we were like, why? And he was like, because you'd be really annoying. You just go like, oh, is this going to end soon? Because I'm really hungry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me. Like you two just be complaining about how hungry and bored you are.
Have you seen that meme where it's like me being kidnapped, being like, "Are we there yet?"
Yeah. Or my favourite one.
Pick me.
Yeah. My favourite one is Jeremy Clarkson and Richard Hammond. And they're like laughing. They're like, and it's like when the kidnapper says they're going to strangle you instead of strangle you. And they're like,
what does strangle mean?
Well, you know, when someone trips over the words and you laugh at them.
Oh, yeah.
Or at school or something, like when someone says, I don't know, the word wind, and you're like,
like
they mean farts. Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
And it really makes me laugh because I reckon that would be.
Well, it's very likely that we will get some kind of traffic.
If I'm out in the middle at night and I feel like someone's dangerous around me, I'll walk down the street and then I'll go like that, like
Do you?
Yeah.
Have you actually acted full mad?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And if you do it like on a bit of a lower scale on the bus, no one will sit next to you.
I've never seen
when you go
do
like,
that.
well, you're always with me.
Yeah.
But if I am on my own, genuinely, if I felt scared, I'll go like, woof. Like, meow. Honk. Honestly, that's a hack.
To your repertoire.
That's a life honk. Honk.
That's a life honk, guys.
That's a life honk. A life hack.
Wow.
To stay alive.
So take note, Huns.
Yeah, just act mad.
Honk for your safety.
Yeah, there's a video online of this woman putting this fucking ball cap and mask, and she's
I've
walking
seen
like
that.
it's really funny.
For like a safe journey.
Yeah. But that's it. You've just got to act as mental as you
go.
possibly can.
Yeah.
Because unpredictability is the scariest thing.
There'll be one weirdo who's like, I found my perfect match.
Yeah.
He'll be like, oh,
this man will be like, marry me.
Marry me immediately.
Yeah. I can't, everyone's obsessed with me.
Should I tell you about a little weird thing that happened to me on my holiday
Yes,
days?
please.
So, went to the Yorkshire Dales and there was this, it's a house, but it's attached to another house. Can you imagine like Uber house? One's house for them, one's house for us.
I can imagine two houses together. It's usually called a terrace.
Terraced house.
Yeah.
Thank you. I knew there was a word for it.
Yeah. Just imagine houses
imagine a house
together.
Attached to another house, but it does
like
look like one
house
house.
Of the not the hungry caterpillar, the human caterpillar. Is that what it's called?
Hungry caterpillar.
The human centipede.
Oh, yeah.
Human caterpillar.
That's so ominous. I don't want to think
It's a really nice children's book where they eat each other's ass all the way.
Yeah, don't read that one as a bedtime story. Anyway, so it's a terraced fucking house. But because it's in the middle of nowhere, it does look like one big house amongst tons of fields.
Right.
But you're next door to someone. Anyway.
The owners,
right. They're never there.
Right.
But there are 3 cars in the driveway. It's like a riddle, isn't it? 3 cars in the driveway, but they're never there. And they weren't there. Anyway, they had in their garden, and tell me if you think this is antisocial. It's like a little plastic device that every 15 seconds goes,
excuse me,
and it's like a high-pitched whistle, and it's an anti-rabbit deterrent.
Oh, fucking let the rat. Why? What the rabbit's gonna fucking do?
Just accept that you live in the Dales and there are going to be rabbits in your garden, and if the rabbits are going to eat your plants, and don't fight nature. I've always said it.
You did have a fight with nature.
Well, yeah, and you can't.
Of all the things, you're like anti-rabbit.
Anti-rabbit. So it does. Anyway, what's hilarious is that every morning we woke up there's rabbits in their garden, rabbits in our garden.
Yeah, nice.
Rabbits don't give a fuck.
No.
Anyway, but it does mean that when you're out in the garden enjoying a bit of sun,
that's horrible.
It's horrible. So I jumped the wall,
broke it,
and I turned it off. Right, and when I was there, I heard there was another one round the way.
Right.
So I was like, I'm going to turn them both off.
Right, yeah. I think that's fair enough.
You're right.
I bet Neil was shitting himself.
He was like, well, let's just leave it. So I went round the house and they have this glass-fronted conservatory kitchen so you could see in. There was books open, a knife on the side.
What?
It was like someone was living there. But I'm telling you now, there's no one there. There was no one in the house.
A knife on the side?
Yeah. And it was, I suddenly was like, you know when you look in, and I was like, I shouldn't be here. I need to retreat. And I retreated back. I jumped back over the wall. And I was like, that was...
You're not in a war. I need to retreat.
Well, I did. I felt a bit like I'd looked at someone's private... I mean, I was in private property.
Yeah. So I jumped the wall.
Yeah, jumped back over the wall. And I was like, what the fuck is that about? Like, it was like someone was, and then I was like, maybe they are in, but we hadn't heard a sound. No one's left, no one's arrived.
If that's like your second home, you're not just going to leave knives. Maybe it's a deterrent.
Yeah,
To
maybe.
be fair, I think twice about going there.
Yeah, because you've left stuff out. Like, there was like a plate out.
Yeah.
And some scissors.
It's like when you've left your door open for ages and no one's been in. It's because like there wasn't the opportunity. It's because they thought you were in.
Oh, I see.
It's a
Do you
risky
think
game,
it's basically to stop me snooping
It was to
around?
stop you and for this to happen, yeah.
Oh, right.
They were like, if that fucking smashy bitch comes in.
Yeah,
'Cause
smashy
you'd be like,
anti-rabbit bitch.
Yeah.
Well, then they turned up 2 days later in 2 other cars. And they're a couple in their like 60s and they don't have any
So
kids.
it's like 5 cars.
It's 5 cars now. And I was like, this is getting weirder and weirder. And
some people just like, were they nice cars?
they're like scrappy sports cars. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. And man in his 60s.
Yeah, they just like cars. And I had to be like real sheepish. I was like, listen, I did jump the wall and switch off your anti-rabbit device, but it is quite loud. And he was like, yeah, it's an anti-neighbour device as well. And I was like, aren't we having fun banter in the countryside?
Oh,
Bye.
God.
Yeah, so that's
That is spooky.
it was a bit creepy.
Did you say, why have you got a knife? Just...
Why have you left your knife out on your kitchen? That makes me look like the fucking weirdo. Then.
Yeah, it does, yeah. But you had a horrible time.
I did, yeah. Had a real horrible time. Fell on my face. Neil said, oh, look, a sheep. And I went, where? And I fell on a flat path.
It serves you right for being into nature.
Yeah, nature's a cruel little bitch, you know. I like her.
Only do nature if you've got a car to get there, which you didn't, and a car to leave.
Yeah.
Then it's nice.
Yeah, you
can't get a train anywhere or rely on anything. You have to be like, I'm getting in my car and I'm driving to the countryside. Nothing's going to stop me from here and now except maybe a Whopper meal at the services.
Yeah, I know, but like, he forgot his passport. Like, I didn't know this, that you need a passport to rent a car.
What you do know is, though, that you check what they want you to have. And then but of course, he did forget it, which is...
He just forgot it.
Completely fair enough.
2 days. We ended up in Leeds Bradford International Airport.
You're still in a relationship, though, which I've said is nice. Me and Adam would not... I've said it before and I'll say it again. We wouldn't be.
Why do you think you'd have... I think you'd be fine. You have to... You have to get through... No.
But Adam would have made really irresponsible decisions like, I'm going to buy a car.
At one point, we were like, do we buy a car?
Do we buy a car, yeah. Potentially.
Yeah, like some old clap.
Yeah, my mum was telling me that when we were little and we were late for a wedding, we broke down and my dad just bought a car. And she went mental at him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he was like, we've got to get to the wedding. And then she'd gone, because they didn't have mobile phones then, so they were walking like to the phone box, trying to phone someone. And while they were gone, he bought a car.
How did he find the car? Like,
just there on it was just a car.
Really?
Yeah.
See, there you go. I think actually it's not that mad an idea.
Well, she was like, I didn't talk to him for about 3 days because I spent loads of money on a fucking car. But that's the kind of... Because me and Adam have separate bank accounts, don't have anything joint, I'd be like, yeah, buy a car.
Yeah, you get that car.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. There was a moment where in order to get... So on our second day, we had to go to pick up a car from Leeds Bradford International Airport, and we had to wake up at 7 so we could walk 45 minutes to the local village to pick up the local village bus to get us to a local village train station, which took us to a local other village, which then had an airport bus.
This is giving me hives.
It took, I'm not joking.
I want to punch Neil in the face.
There were so many elements to getting that car that by the time we got it, it was just like, oh my God. And then I fell over and had to go to the pharmacy. Also, this woman in the pharmacy, right? I walked in bleeding. And my knee's like gashed up and it's got like pebbles in it. It's like got gravel in it. Not pebbles, I'm being a bit dramatic.
I had boulders in my leg.
Yeah.
My leg was sawed off.
And she gave me antiseptic wipes.
Right.
No, not just right.
What's wrong with that?
Because on the back of it, it says, do not put anywhere near an open wound. It's like proper alcohol. And she was like, just use that. And I was like, okay, and it fucking killed.
Did it work then?
No, my leg bled more.
Well, so you've got gangrene now.
Well, I've looked after myself with Germaline and bandages.
What did you want, a bandage?
Yeah, but she was like, you shouldn't put the alcohol in on a fresh wound. And if there's any nurses listening, let me know if that's wrong. Maybe she was right.
I don't know. I just think that anything that just makes sure there's no dirt or bacteria in it is whatever. It probably says don't have any alcohol, don't put it near the wound because it's going to fucking wreck.
Yeah, it fucking.
But like, I'd rather that than not and not die, not lose my leg.
Right.
Anyway,
why don't you pick a tarot?
Let's do a tarot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We've gassed on, haven't we?
Oh, we have. Yeah. Well, fuck it. Who cares? Oh, we've had him before. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of Pentacles.
Chuck me the book.
3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Is it 10? Let's have a look at him.
Yeah,
what does he look like? Oh, it looks quite idyllic. That
something about mortgages would be nice.
Oh, yes, you're after one of them.
Because I'm become a very boring person. I'm in the market for a mortgage.
Oh, is it upside down?
It was. Yes, I think it was.
Oh, it was reversed. It suggests that having to make an entirely new start is sometimes a blessing. You may feel as if you've experienced a terrible loss or a fall from grace. This might be true, but both the having and the loss are part of the fluctuating evolution of human consciousness. Sometimes you have to begin again.
That's definitely get the mortgage, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
It's a good idea.
It's a new start, a new house.
Yeah.
A new tea room.
A new podcast.
Don't say things like
that.
Don't
joke.
I nearly threw this at you.
Blasphemy.
I nearly went, ah!
Listen, we both rely on this far too much to pay bills. We can't leave each other.
It's a shame it wasn't in the advice position, but it wasn't.
Fuck it. No. Oh, well.
New start, new beginnings.
Beginnings.
I'm going to grow a new leg.
Have you got a story for me?
Yeah. This is called Folklore from the dense Rio Lempa forest in Central America.
Oh,
I do love a bit of folklore and a bit of Spanish.
Guess what? I've got another Spanish.
It's a Spanish one, and trust me, there's a lot of Spanish in this. So
I wouldn't
prepare to
expect
be
anything less.
icked out as fuck. Imagine I just did the whole thing in Spanish. As the sun sets in San Luis La Herradura, a beach town on the Pacific, the sound of the waves hitting the rock formations become louder and louder. The waves slowly become a constant rhythm that cradles the town to sleep.
Oh, I love the waves.
Oh, I know.
Love the sea.
Girl. One of Neil's friends said that she used to love hearing the sound of the waves hitting the shore. She's from Australia. As she grew up, and she was like, it used to rock me to sleep. It was amazing. And she found out later that it was the sound of a motorway. She was like, God damn it.
So funny.
About childhood. She's
I can totally see how that's, yeah.
Anyway.
It's the M4.
Yeah, it's just the fucking A roads.
Brilliant.
Growing up, I knew what time of the day it was solely on the rhythm of the waves. I'd make sure to get home before dusk, as I had to cross a small forest that was traversed by the famous Rio Lempa.
I wonder if that one's full of sex traffickers.
What, the Rio Lempa?
Organ thieves.
Well, you'd hope not.
Wow.
But you just never know.
In fact, what you should do for Spooky News, or one of us should do for Spooky News, is the women that have gone missing in one of the forests. Have you heard about this?
No.
I'll find it and I'll figure it out and we'll talk about it at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to give you any more.
No, don't.
Because it's potentially paranormal.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Yes, please.
I'm not going to give you any more
I forgot to do
info.
Spooky News, but
we can do it in a minute.
We can do it in a bit. Okay. In the summer of 76, just before the country erupted into a bloody civil war, at least 8 people had gone missing in or near the forest of Rio Lempa.
Right.
This forest was dense and humid, a mosquito's paradise when a human passed through. Mammy had warned me always to get home before it had become too dark to find my way out of the forest. She taught me to always respect the advice of las aguas, the waters. Their sounds would guide me home.
Right.
Growing up, the elders would tell us many stories about the forest and the rio. Stories of the Siguanaba, who had the face of a horse, the Cipitillo, who had his feet on backwards to confuse you, the Cadejo, who was a rabid dog, and many more. All of these folkloric creatures were said to travel along the Rio Lempa. They are fascinating stories, but for now I want to tell you about one particular story. Huzz Manuel Gomez was a farmer from Chalatenango. He was the type of man who never went to school but was filled with more knowledge than any textbook. I was very fond of him because every time he would come to the port, he would bring us kids dulce de nance, which are my favourite candies, made from the nance fruit. During his lunch break...
What fruit?
Nance! Sounds like Nancy or Nancy.
Yeah, it sounds like something bad.
It's spelled Nance. Nance.
Yeah.
All right, Nance.
Oh, dear.
Oh
dear.
Oh, dear me.
Hold on that knife edge.
Oh.
All right, you big nonce.
It's from the nonce tree. It's Gary from the nonce tree. You're right, Gary.
I know nonce is a really fun word to say, though.
Nonce. It's lovely
or
to say,
calling someone a nonce.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off, you nonce. It's funny.
Yeah, it is.
But nothing funny about paedophilia. Thank you, bye.
Thank you, bye. During his lunch break, he would sit and tell a small audience stories about the Rio Lempa, about the volcano of Izalco, about the ruins of Tazumal, and the cobblestones of Suchitoto. You named it and he knew it, recounting stories that would fascinate you for hours. I'd always looked for him near the beach during lunch and was upset if I'd missed him on the days he did come. Mummy didn't like Huzz Manuel because she said he was full of babosadas.
What's
garbage.
That? Oh, I thought meatballs.
He's full of meatballs, that
He's
one.
full of tapas.
He's full of noncy meatballs.
He was full of patatas bravas.
Yum. I want to be full of patatas bravas.
I like patatas bravas when they do it with like that cilantro. It's not cilantro. I'm not fucking American.
Jesus.
What's it called? Coriander creamer. Oh, it's delicious.
Coriander creamer?
Well,
what
it's like
coriander.
It's coriandery sauce.
That's not patatas bravas, though. It should be tomato
I've
sauce.
had, well, it's that, but then with a drizzle of the coriander over the
I
top
see.
of it.
You can get patatas bravas.
Ever heard of Oaxaca?
Well, no. Where did we go? That we had that amazing.
Oh, don't! I'm going to get hungry.
Brindisa. We have to go there with Rachel, actually.
So good, yeah.
When she's back. Okay. Yeah, he's full of babosadas, garbage. Tienes que ir a la escuela para no acabar como ese hombre con sus historias locas.
Oh, patatas bravas.
Patatas bravas. Tienes que comer patatas bravas.
Chorrito!
Which means you have to go to school to not end up like that man and his crazy stories.
Yeah, fair enough.
See, Mummy, I'd reply, nodding my head. I'd always have to keep my encounters with him a secret due to my mother's dislike of him.
Salami.
So that's a dodgy path to go down, isn't it? Meeting up with Jose in secret. But no, we mustn't make it noncy.
Oh, is it sexual?
No.
Right.
But
could be.
Well, it is. Anyway.
Noshing.
Nosh. One afternoon, as I was headed to see if Huzz Manuel was sitting by the beach, having his lunch and telling his stories, I heard a young boy's voice inside the forest. I assumed it was a new boy in town because I didn't recognise him when I saw him. He spoke a language I didn't know. What language are you speaking? I asked. He chuckled and started playing with a branch he had in his hands.
Normal.
Bash! To be fair, I used to play
He's a lumper!
I used to play a stick game.
What was it?
Stick game, just hide the stick and find the stick.
Fucking hell.
Very wholesome youth I had.
Sound like you've got a bit of a, lacking a few brain cells.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Adam's dad was telling me that when he was younger, he used to put all the leaves in the bin just one by one. I could go over and pick up a leaf and then take it all the way to the bin.
Oh my God.
And then go back and I was like, what an idiot.
That sounds like that gif of Millhouse when he just chucks the frisbee and then goes to pick up the frisbee, throws it over the other side, picks it up.
I can just imagine Adam deadpan just going like,
Millhouse.
1, 2, yeah.
That's funny. Okay. I shrugged my shoulders and kept going on my way. About a minute later, I heard him again. I turned round and he was right behind me and once again began to speak in a foreign language. I don't understand you, I said. Where are you from? He didn't reply, only looking down at the floor as he made circles in the dirt with a branch. Okay, do you want to come and have lunch with me? I asked him.
No, thank you.
He started laughing again. I wasn't sure if he was fully understanding me, so I just motioned with my arm to follow me. I kept on walking and would look back every now and then to see if he was following me, and he was. When the forest came to an end and I stepped out to the asphalt street, he stopped abruptly and just stood there staring at me. You're not coming? I asked him.
Why are you inviting this randomer out for lunch?
Poor little kid with the branch. He's being nice.
I don't know. He's speaking a language that no one understands and he's just smacking a branch across his head over and over again.
You're like, I will fucking win.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be like, bye, bitch.
Oh, I'd be like, oh, you're weird. Be
I'll Uber eat
friends.
you some tapas.
You're not coming, I asked him. He shook his head. Why not? He didn't reply. He simply looked down at his feet. Suit yourself, I said. I waved goodbye and continued on my way. That day, Huzz Manuel told us about one encounter he had with the hombre sin cabeza, the man without a head. He said he would be travelling through the Camino de las Flores when he saw a horse in the distance coming towards him at an impossible speed. As the horse came closer, he realised there was a figure on the horse that was beginning to form. First the feet, then the legs, then the torso and the arms, but it stopped short of a head. It galloped right by him with the headless horseman. You have to show them no fear. That's the trick. Anytime you see something that scares you, you have to put on a brave face, and that'll save you. There are many strange things from around here which we have to protect ourselves, he said with enthusiasm as we all looked up with enormous eyes. After lunch, I headed back to the forest to go back home. As I was coming closer to the forest entrance, I realised that the little boy was standing in exactly the same spot where I'd left him. You stayed here the whole time, I said. He was too shy to meet my eyes, so he turned around and waited for me to come inside the woods. You're funny, Cipote, I said, shaking my head and laughing as I entered the woods. As we walked through the forest next to the Rio Lempa, I told him the story about the headless horseman. He seemed fascinated by it. I enjoyed telling him the story and seeing him look at me the same way I looked at Huzz Manuel. It felt really cool. As I exited the forest to go into my town, he stopped once again before exiting the forest. You know you can't stay in there. It's dangerous. 8 people have gone missing this summer. Have you not heard of La Siguanaba? I'm pretty sure she's been kidnapping everyone and killing them because she's a loca. I said to him, a crazy woman.
Bitch.
Yeah. See, you do speak Spanish.
Loca.
Loca. He just stared down at his feet and started to laugh again before sprinting away. I sighed and turned to go back to town. Every day that summer, he would meet me in the forest, and I would tell him all the stories that Huzz Manuel told us. I had become an incredible storyteller, even if I was sort of stealing the stories from Huzz Manuel. My mannerisms had me believing I was telling stories to a theatre filled with thousands of people in the audience. I felt grown up around the kid. I also felt protected, as I didn't have to walk the forest alone. He was smaller than me, but something about his demeanour made me think he wasn't an ordinary kid. I'd often lose track of time and forget about listening to the waves to get home in time. My memories of summer of 76 are all him and me in the stories. Him and me and the stories in the forest. One afternoon, sitting by the beach, I was excited because Huzz Manuel had a new story for us. I know I've told you about El Cipitillo, the little boy who is the son of La Siguanaba, but there's another boy that I've encountered on one of my trips near the Rio Lempa. Kaita. That's his name in Nahuatl. He's a young boy. Well, that's one of the shapes he takes. He's a cambia formas, a shapeshifter. His favourite form is that of a little boy, but his true form is much more sinister, Huzz Manuel told us in a low voice. I became scared. I thought of my friend in the forest. He never left the forest and he never really spoke. And he was very mysterious. What does he do? I asked. Well, he steals things that you can't get back, Huzz Manuel answered. Like what? Like time, for example. He's stolen entire lifetimes, he answered. What do you mean? Well, by the time you realise he's been stealing your time, it's too late and that time's gone forever, he answered. Well, how does he do that? By keeping you entertained, occupied, by confusing you, by making you believe you've only spent one afternoon with him when, in reality, it's been 10 years, he answered. Panicking, I looked down at my hands. And that's when I noticed the wrinkles.
Oh, no.
I noticed my voice had changed.
And you dropped labia.
Yeah, yeah. His dropped labia,
His dropped bollocks. Sorry. Actually, men can have labias.
Men can have labias too.
Thank you.
Jesus.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah, actually.
And bollocks.
And
That's when I noticed my swinging testicles.
how do you say...
Bolloca.
Yeah, how do you say balls in Spanish?
I don't know.
used to
Obviously,
know
I'm
that.
not going to fucking
No,
know.
it's something that we all know.
But scrotama.
Scroto.
Scroto.
Los
Or is it
scrotos.
scrota?
Oh, fuck, I used to know that.
Scrota.
Yeah, I'll find out. I noticed my voice had changed. I noticed my clothing was different. I looked up at Huzz
God.
Manuel, but he was gone.
Oh, bitch.
Will you just shut up with your goddamn stories, Edgardo, just for today? A voice asked me. What? I turned around to see a homeless man next to me. I'm sick of them every day. No one cares about the Headless Horseman or the Cipitillo or any of that. That's for kids, man, he said, upset.
God, it's really gone downhill, hasn't it, in 10 years?
I looked around and everything looked different, newer. What year is it? I asked, fearing the answer. You really that drunk today? It's 2009, he answered, shaking his head. I got up and felt the weight of my age. I walked to a window to look at my reflection and I didn't recognize the man looking back at me. Almost 30 years.
Oh.
I lost almost 3 decades of my life because I spent them with the shapeshifter, Kwalankaita. I'd apparently spent most of my life jobless on the streets, talking to myself and retelling the stories I'd heard as a child. Most folks thought I'd gone crazy, infatuated with folklore stories, but that's not what happened. He stole my time, my life. I told my mammy...
Hey, Mammy.
Mammy!
Now we're in Ireland.
I was told my mammy died in the war in 88. She disowned me from embarrassment. I don't blame her. She did warn me about paying too much attention to nonsensical stories.
That's a bit harsh.
Yeah, I know, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed of my child, so I just disown them.
Yeah, because they've lost their mind.
Next time you see a homeless person talking to themselves on the street, just remember that maybe they're talking to Kwalankaita. Try to wake them up. Maybe you can save them a few years, a few decades. And if you ever find a little boy in the woods, stay away from him. Don't listen to him. Don't speak to him. Don't look at him. You might just miss out on your life if you do.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Oh no no.
Oh no.
How to say balls in Spanish?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess a scrotoma or bolaca.
How to say it's some
Testicular. Testa.
bolas, but it's not
really close.
Cojones.
Oh, of course it's cojones.
Cojones, for fuck's sake.
Of course it is. I
Of course
do
it
know
is.
that, yeah.
I knew we all knew that.
I knew we knew that.
We knew that.
Would you like a story?
Oh, please, por favor.
Okay, doke. Marissa was scrolling through her phone on an obscenely boring Saturday. She sighed. She clicked onto TikTok and saw that all of her friends doing stupid videos at some overpriced brunch place that she couldn't afford.
Oh, I hate them.
I'm sick of being skint, she sighed. She glanced up and noticed a pair of running shoes she'd bought 6 months ago to impress a guy she was dating. Tim had liked hiking. Oh, Tim! Tim had liked hiking. Fuck's sake. Tim had liked hiking. She hadn't, but she wasn't going to let him know that, so she'd bought the shoes. She'd worn them a couple of times on some horrific hikes. When she popped 3 blisters in them, she'd said bye-bye to Tim and hung up her hiking trainers. She was pleased. She was pleased she'd had a bad feeling about him anyway. Something was just off. Tim hadn't taken it very well and he was constantly messaging her, begging her to change her mind. 2 days later, the messages had stopped. It turned out that Tim had died from falling off the edge of a cliff in the Peak District.
Oh, you've got to be careful.
She felt bad for him, but this is exactly why she hated hiking. It's actually not good for you at all, despite what everyone says.
Is this written by you, post me gashing my knee up, looking at a sheep?
Maybe. This was based on something, but I did add in the details, yeah.
I love it.
I actually didn't think about that at all. I was thinking about the Peak District because of the house. But anyway, thinking about Tim and those awful hikes, it gave her an idea. They were expensive and hardly worn. She could resell them and have enough money to go to Chelsea's 30, flirty and thriving birthday party next weekend at Inferno's. Marissa grinned and jumped up. She started taking pictures of her trainers at all different angles and with all the best filters to hide the bloodstains. She was going to sell these bad boys if it killed her. Ding! 10 minutes later, Marissa heard her phone go off. She rolled her eyes. It was probably one of the girls sending her even more drunk pictures of themselves at their brunch without her. But Marissa was surprised. Oh, hey, hon, the message read. Are the trainers still available? Marissa grinned as she typed back immediately. Yeah, are you interested? The response came back straight away. Yeah, they're exactly what I was looking for. I'm meant to be going hiking with my boyfriend. Marissa glanced at the shoes and saw the bloodstain. Oh, yeah, they're perfect for hiking. I've had no issues with them whatsoever. Liar. Great, can I collect them this evening? I'll bring cash. Marissa kissed her phone. You beauty, she said. At 6 p.m. that evening, it was getting dark. Marissa was closing the curtains when there was a knock at the door. Marissa whooped. Overpriced cocktails, here I come. She walked over to the door. It was dark and a porch light had gone out, but she could still make out a figure through the frosted glass. Fuck's sake. It's a frosted grass.
There's some fractured
Gonna say that again. She walked over to the door. It was dark and her porch light bulb had gone, but she could still make out a figure through the frosted glass. Marissa was excited to get her cash, but she wasn't a moron. She didn't know Chelsea from Kelsey, so she was quite wary.
Sounds like a riddle.
I really enjoyed it. She opened the door a crack. She saw a figure with a hood up. "I'm here for the trainers," a gruff voice said. "I'm Chelsea's boyfriend." Okay, sure. It's 150 cash. How expensive are these trainers?
Yeah.
To be 150 in cash.
Well, I'm not surprised by that.
Second hand. How much are hiking shoes? Go on.
Well, no, like actual like walking boots don't have to be that much. They could be like 80 quid.
But they could
but
be
like
very...
like good posh running trainers.
And Marissa seems like the kind of
quid.
cunt to get that.
Yeah, like the Adidas.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah. Okay, sure, it's 150 cash. Marissa handed over the trainers and the man snatched them out of her hand so fast that it made Marissa jump. The man lifted the shoe to his face and took one long, deep...
You knew it was going to be a sniff.
Marissa wondered what the fuck was happening, but before she could say anything, the trainers were thrust back into her hands. "They're definitely not new," the man said, "so I'll have to check see if Chelsea still wants them." He turned and walked away, and Marissa closed the door quickly. What a fucking weird guy. She walked over to her closed curtains and opened them slowly to check. Oh, I hate this bit. She walked over to her closed curtains and opened them slowly to check if the man had gone. She reached out and pulled one side back, slowly. She squealed when she saw an eye pressed up against a window. Fuck, what kind of weirdo was he? Marissa ran up the stairs 2 at a time and threw her bedroom door shut. She sat on her bed and waited for her heartbeat to return to normal. Her phone buzzed. She picked it up. There was a message from Chelsea. "Your feet smell so good."
Oh, this is gross.
What? Marissa slowly looked down at the floor. A face was smiling up at her from between her feet.
No! No!
The rest of his body under the bed. She jumped up and ran to the next room where she knew there was a wardrobe to hide in. Why wouldn't you just fucking leave?
Also, how big is this house that she lives in alone?
Oh, massive. Yeah, she's
how many bedrooms has Marissa got?
Well, she's got a mortgage she's got to pay.
Fucking hell.
She jumped up and ran to the next room where she knew there was a wardrobe to hide in. As she sat in the darkness, she realised that she recognised the face of the man under her bed. It was Tim. The hiker ex that had died on a trail just after she'd dumped him. She heard footsteps enter the room then. "This little piggy went to market," he said in a sing-song voice. I should do... "This little piggy went to market."
No, to market.
He said in a sing-song voice. She'd known something was off about him. "This little piggy stayed at home." She never should have pushed him off that cliff edge.
Marissa.
"This little piggy was hiding in the wardrobe." But he wouldn't stop messaging her. She'd had no choice. And then Marissa heard one long before the doorknob to the wardrobe started to turn. The end.
Oh my God. So hang on. Marissa's obviously a murderer.
She's a bit tapped, Marissa. She's a bit mental.
Yeah, but also he's a sex pest.
They both deserve each other. They should have stayed together.
So he wanted to sniff her feet and she was like, "You're a bit weird, so I'm going to push you off a fucking..."
Yeah, well, he kept messaging her, so she then just... she thought it was a bit weird. But then she's also a cunt because she's selling fucking used trainers on Facebook Marketplace when they've got bloodstains on them.
RRP, the actual price. Yeah.
You shouldn't be giving those away. They should go in the bin.
As we've learnt from the OC, Marissa's aren't great.
No, that's exactly where that name's come from.
Oh, is it?
For sure, I can imagine, yeah.
She was a bit of a fucking drip, wasn't she?
Oh, she was so wet. I'm glad she fucking died.
She did actually. If you looked up drip...
Oh, she's such a...
in a human,
and her face
it would be her.
She was so whiny.
Yeah, everything dripped.
Yeah, she was just... And her face was always like this.
Yeah.
She was a very... But wasn't... what was her name? Misha Barton. She was a bit of a twat, wasn't she, in real life?
She was also in one of the worst movies I think I've ever seen in my life.
What was it called? Might have seen it.
I can't remember, but it's...
was it scary?
No, it was just horrific, and it just happened to be on TV. I thought it was like a comedy at first, because I was like, they're actively...
Because it was so
acting
bad.
Yeah, it's bad. She's... I think she might be a bit of a twat, yeah.
Yeah, she does sound
But I do wish her well.
It's the feet. It's the feet, and underneath when you look down and there's a face there going...
Oh, fuck.
Sniffing your fucking tootsies.
Yeah. Now, would you like another story or creepy, spooky news?
Oh, shall we do creepy, spooky news and then we'll do a creep? Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a creep of the week.
Or another story.
Yeah.
Might have time.
Might have time, yeah. Let's go. Let's do some spooky news.
Okay, spooky news. Spooky news. Love it. Right, so this is something I briefly mentioned. This is the Yuba County Five.
Just on a completely different note, don't you think that song Bad Boys by Alexandra Burt was a great song? Always catching my eye. Away. It was an absolute banger.
Yeah.
And the one we always forget about.
I really like her as well.
Another one she seems like she's sound as fuck.
You'd go for a drink with her, wouldn't
you? The other one I really like is Absolutely Everybody in the whole world. I've had it on non-stop these past few days, and it's such a summer banger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
do you know what?
It's a great song.
It's lovely that summer's coming, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like I'm ready for summer now.
Yeah. 100%.
I want a holiday. We're going to go on holidays, aren't we?
Holiday. Well, we are.
Holidays.
Yeah, fucking Romania to a forest.
Oh, yeah, we're getting quite a few holidays,
Let's get harvested.
Let's get
Can I get it harvested up in here? Anyway, so this is an article about the Yuba County Five. So as you may have picked up on previous episodes, spooky news is kind of like true crime, but with a paranormal element. So something's clearly as weird has gone on. It's unsolved. Yeah. These mysterious cases around the world that I think are so intriguing. Yeah. And it's when they're not explained, that's when I'm like, is there a paranormal side to it? But also I want to treat these as, these are actual real people who have gone missing, and we need to be respectful of it. Yeah. And we're not saying it's, we're not being flippant. I just find these really fascinating cases. So this is about the Yuba County Five. I'm just going to read this article. Yeah. The bewildering case of the Yuba County Five and their unsolved disappearance. In February 1978, 5 disabled young men vanished in a California forest on their way home from a basketball game. 4 of their bodies were found months later, but the case continues to baffle investigators to this day. 5 men from the Yuba City, California, Jackie, Bill, Jack, Ted, and Gary, made plans to go to a college basketball game in Chico, California. How cute
was that name for Jackie?
I know. They all struggled with mild developmental disabilities or psychiatric conditions of some sort, and they were fondly called the Boys by their loved ones. They soon, however, became known to the nation as the Yuba County Five. Surveillance footage from the convenience store captured the group purchasing snacks and drinks after the baseball game. It was likely the last time anyone saw them alive.
They bought pie and stuff, didn't they?
Yeah. It's so strange.
Yeah,
there's no reason for anything that's happened. But after a day's long search, police located Jack Madruga's car stuck in a snowbank on a remote road in the Plumas National Forest, far off the route the men were supposed to be travelling between Chico and Yuba City. However, there was no sign of the friends. It wasn't until the snow melted several months later that their fate would be revealed. In June 1978, the bodies of 4 of the Yuba County Five were uncovered in the forest, scattered within a 20-mile radius of the car. The remains of Gary Matias were never found. And to this day, no one has any idea what happened to the young men or why they were in the forest to begin with. And who were they? So it was Jackie Hewitt, Bill Sterling, Jack Madruga, Ted Weir, and Gary Matias, and they were from Yuba City. They ranged in age from 24 to 32, and they dealt with mild disabilities and lived at home with their families. But they were independent enough to spend time on their own and take short trips. Madruga had a Mercury Montego that he often drove the group around in. They played basketball together, and they were looking forward to participating in a tournament. The night before the tournament, they had another basketball game to attend, and they drove in Madruga's Mercury the 50 miles to California State University at Chico to watch that team play against UC Davis. After the game, they stopped at a convenience store, stocked up on candy and chocolate milk for the ride home. A witness saw them drive off, headed in the direction of Yuba City.
Chocolate milk.
But they never made it back. The next morning, the men's parents noticed that their sons had not returned home. They weren't the type to stay out all night, and they wouldn't have willingly missed their basketball tournament. Madruga's mother called the police, and the search for the Yuba County Five began. There was no sign of the men between Chico and Yuba City. By pure luck, a US Forest Service ranger happened upon Madruga's car stuck in a snowbank on February the 27th. The remote road was nearly 50 miles in the opposite direction of the route the men should have been travelling. Besides the car, though, there was no evidence the men had been in the area. It didn't even seem as if they'd tried to move the vehicle, although 5 grown men should have been easily able to have lifted it from the bank. It had a quarter tank of gas, there were several maps in the glove compartment, but the keys were gone. The police immediately began a search of the surrounding woods, but a brutal winter storm forced them to halt the operation. A man named Joseph Scones came forward with a bizarre story about the night of February 24th. According to the Crime Wire, he'd been driving on the same remote road to check on his cabin in the forest when he also got stuck in a snowbank. He then suffered a heart attack while trying to free his vehicle, and he collapsed in pain, unable to move. Around 11:30 p.m, he noticed headlights on the road. He claimed that several men got out of a car, along with a woman who was holding a baby. He called for help, and the group stopped talking and disappeared. He saw a flashlight beam again about 2 hours later, but no one came to his assistance. When he recovered enough to attempt to walk down the mountain for help, Madruga's car was in the spot where he'd seen the group of men the night before. It's unclear if he saw the County Five, if they really had a woman and a baby with them. He might have imagined the entire encounter in pain-induced days. His story only adds to the mystery surrounding the case, but that's all the investigators had to work with, until the snow melted in the spring. On June 4th, motorcyclists came across a trailer in the woods, 20 miles from where Madruga's car had been discovered. 20 miles is a long way.
It's a really long way, yeah.
They opened the door to explore and were greeted with a grisly scene. The body of Ted was stretched out on a bed in the trailer. He was wrapped in sheets and his feet were severely frostbitten. Weir's body was emaciated. The length of his beard suggested he'd been alive for 2 of the 3 months after disappearing. Oddly, although he'd broken into the trailer, he hadn't opened a locker in the shed that contained enough food to feed all 5 men for more than a year. Nor had he used the matches, fuel or propane tank located in another shed to keep the trailer warm. It seemed that he'd simply spent months waiting to die. The next day, investigators found the remains of Jack Madruga and Bill Sterling in the woods, several miles away. Animals had eaten away at their bodies, and it was unclear if the men had ever reached the trailer. Shortly after, Jackie Hewitt's shoes and spine were discovered just 2 miles from the trailer, and his skull was located 100 yards away. The men's families had countless questions about the discovery. How did they get there? Why had they left the car? But there was one question that overshadowed them all. Where was Gary Matias? To this day, his body's never been found. His sneakers were discovered in the trailer, suggesting he'd been inside at some point, but no other trace of him ever turned up. What I looked for all the time, I was up there, were his glasses. Matias's father told the Washington Post, "I didn't think the bear would eat that." Regarding the case, a special agent said that there were no explanations and 1,000 leads. And every day you got 1,000 leads. Investigators were unable to find evidence that a woman and baby were ever on the mountain road the night the Yuba County Five disappeared. The family members remained steadfast in their belief that something nefarious occurred that evening. There was some force that made them go up there, said Jack Madruga's mother, Mabel. They wouldn't have fled off in the woods like a bunch of quail. We know good and well that somebody made them do it. We can't visualise someone getting the upper hand on those 5 men, but we know it must have been. And then Ted Weir's sister-in-law says maybe they seen something at the game at the parking lot. They might have seen it and they didn't even realise it, and someone killed the men to cover up a crime. To this day, it remains unsolved. Investigators cannot prove a criminal act took place that night, but they can't explain what happened if one did not. The case of the Yuba County Five is still active and continues to haunt the Yuba County Police more than 40 years later. In the words of Jack Beecham, the Yuba County Undersheriff at the time of the disappearance, the incident remains bizarre as hell.
Yeah, it is absolutely fucking mental.
Absolutely insane. It reminds me of the Dyatlov Pass kind of
Yeah, it's got
thing.
similar vibes. Although I think probably what did actually happen, as much as it's very sad. I think they got lost, and whatever kind of like condition or illness they had deteriorated even further, and they all kind of just couldn't find a way out. And then the animals came along, and I think it's like chaos. The whole thing is chaos.
Yeah.
And I think that.
But why get out the car? Like, why be on that road at all?
Yeah, but a lot of them had like not just like learning disabilities, but like mental health conditions, like schizophrenia, mate, or something like that could, in a stressful situation, everything deteriorates. Yeah.
But it's just that initial flare-up point that you go, that never happened before. They always managed to take trips.
Yeah.
And on that route before there was
maybe they had a row or something, or I don't know. Yeah. But I think it's got to be. It is really sad.
And the fact that they've never found one of the 5.
Yeah.
Like, where did he go? Like,
it's got to be down to animals. It's got to be.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as you'd like to think that it wasn't, it makes it sadder because they had like mental health issues and that.
But they did. But what they're saying is that they were sound of mind enough to have known to like keep the door shut. They were perfectly capable of driving, of buying supplies, and knowing like survival instincts and all of that. Like, I don't
think 40 years ago though anybody really truly understood what happens when when your mental health deteriorates, because the unpredictability happens, and you can't really assume that you know what anyone's going to do.
You don't.
Especially if they're scared,
one
and if
of
they
them had a
rowed
mental break, and 2 of them had one. But the idea that all 4,
well, one of them having one is enough to exacerbate everybody else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I mean, I don't even know what they had, or I'm certainly not an expert on it, but I don't know. I think that seems like the likely. It's pure speculation, but it is really sad.
Incredibly sad and a creepy story. That's our spooky news.
Oh, it's lovely. Oh, it's lovely. Shall we do a creep of the week?
Oh, go on.
Oh,
if you've got one.
Oh, please. Oh, please. It's cliche, but I know, but I have to start by saying that this actually happened. Every bit of it.
Oh, creep of the week. Creep of the week. Creep of the week.
It was 2014, my senior year of high school, and I was at a party at my friend Josh's house. Now, I've always been a believer in the paranormal. Is God real? Hell if I know. But ghosts are absolutely real. Also,
she fancies Josh.
Yeah, Josh sounds fit.
Josh sounds so fit.
Josh is such a fit man name.
The J's. It's always the J's. They're
Jays,
naughty, but you'll always fall for a J. Especially when you're young, the J's are fit as fuck.
I've had a Joe, I've had a Jason, I'm not sure if I have had a
Joe.
I sound like I'm just saying I fucked him. I'm not saying that. I mean, like, there's been them in my life.
Yeah.
I've had a Josh, I've had a Jason, I've had a Joe. Like a J. There's been a J.
J, yeah.
J is the worst
from
of the
5.
When have you ever seen a J be like a nerd?
Yeah, exactly.
They never are. Never.
Fuck boys.
I think Hannah's quite a good girl name. Suzie definitely is.
Yeah, it is.
Susie's like...
Suzie does her homework.
Yeah. But I think Hannah's a good girl.
I think Hannah's does her homework as well.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. We don't have naughty names.
No, but I was...
But I have a Z in mine. I'm quite naughty with my Z.
I've got a Z in my surname. Does that count?
Oh, yeah. Bijkowski.
Girl! We were meant to be podcast hosts. Anyway, it was one of those typical senior year hangouts. Some beer pong, some greenery. I assume that means weed.
I hope they make out.
Nothing out of control. Me too. I'm getting all that. Oh, Josh.
I really hope.
Josh is probably like 15 and I'm like, oh my God, Josh. Nonce.
Nonce tree again. Gary's crawled down from his nonce tree to grace us in the studio again.
Oh, I wasn't hallucinating, wasn't wasted. I was just vibing like we always did. Josh's house was small. 3 bedrooms all lined up on the same hallway with a guest bathroom at the end.
Sounds quite big.
I was just thinking that, but then we do live in London. As I walked down the hall, I saw Josh come out of his bedroom and cross into his mum's room. Clear as day. The lights were on, everything was well lit. I even waved and said, hey, and he waved back. I figured he was grabbing something. Earlier he'd mentioned a coin collection.
He's already fit.
I didn't see Josh having a coin collection.
No, but that makes me really fancy him now.
What, a coin collection?
Yeah, because he's a bit like different. Do you know what I mean? Oh, he's got a little hobby that's like kind of cute.
No, if he's going to be grabbing anything, I hope it's my tits. Not a coin collection.
No,
anyway,
I like the coins.
Josh at age 40 is what I want. Not this.
Please
anyway,
Josh.
I'm so sorry, Josh, if you're listening.
He's definitely not.
Imagine it. Josh, if this is you, please get in touch. Or if you know this Josh with a coin collection in Amerika.
Can you tell us how fit Josh is?
I bet he's fit.
I bet. A coin collection,
No. Anyway.
Josh with his coins. Oh,
He'd said his mum has one, which is even sadder. I figured he was grabbing something earlier. He'd mentioned a coin collection his mum had. And he said he was going to bring it out to show me. I came back to the living room. He said, has anyone got a fan? Someone open a window. It's getting hot in here.
Show me your dollars.
I came back to the living room and asked him, hey, did you get the collection? I'd love to see it. You want to fuck Josh?
Yeah, obviously.
I want to see it.
Yeah, obviously.
Come on, have a day off.
Show me your dimes.
He blinked at me, confused. No, not yet. I'm almost done with this game. Thanks for reminding me, though. I kind of laughed, like, what do you mean? You just went into a room. He stared at me. Dude, I've been sitting here. Dude, I've been sitting here the whole time. And then it happened. That strange shift when a room of people suddenly falls silent for no reason. Like everyone senses something at once. A low ripple of dread passed through all of us. You know the feeling, like someone's just walked over your grave. I told him what I saw. Josh got real quiet and then he said almost reluctantly, I had a cousin. We looked a lot alike. Everyone used to say we were twins. He was older than me by 5 years. He lived here for a while, but he died a couple of years ago. That's when it hit me. The guy I saw in the hallway wasn't wearing what Josh had on. He was in basketball shorts. Josh had on jeans that night. We all kind of nervously laughed it off the way you do when something unexplainable happens. What else could we do? But the weirdness didn't stop there. Later that night, after most of the party had cleared out, a few of us stayed behind playing Mario Kart. That's when it happened again. A bright orb of light floated out of the hallway, gliding silently towards us, then veering back the way it came. I didn't look at it directly. Every nerve in my body screamed, don't look. Like something ancient inside me just knew better. One of the girls started to say, did anyone? And one of the guys cut her off fast. It's the rules of the Appalachia tonight. No, we didn't see anything. Not a boy in shorts, not a light, nothing. We all just nodded. That was the most terrified I've ever been in my life, and to this day, I'm thankful I didn't look. A few days later, I was hanging out with Madison, one of the girls who had been there that night, and she asked me, did you look at it? I said no. She let out this breath and then told me that she had looked. She said she's been seeing it ever since, just in the corner of her eye. Enough to know it's there, but never fully. She said the night it happened, she saw a face. Just a shadow, but with glistening black eyes. I told her, half joking, you need to go and get baptised. What else did you say? I was 17. I didn't know anything about sage or crystals or cleansing. I was just trying to make sense of something completely out of my reality. Last I heard, she did get baptised. Said it helped her a little. The feeling of being watched never went away, but at least she doesn't see it anymore. Me, I still think about it, and I still won't look, whatever it is. I don't want it to see me seeing it. Maybe the rules of Appalachia need to apply everywhere, not just the mountains, because this all happened in Dallas, Texas, and it still haunts me. I love the pod and just adore listening and watching in the background as I do my crafty things or play Animal Crossing. Stay spooky, stay safe, babes. KAITLYN.
Oh my word, KAITLYN. Rules of Appalachia. That's
rules
a really...
of Appalachia.
Yeah.
We should delve into that.
Well, also just rules to live by generally. The
Well,
rules
we'll
of Appalachia.
we'll find the Appalachian rules for next... No, not next time.
I really want to go to Appalachia.
Yeah, me too, actually.
I want to go West
Appalachian
Virginia.
Mountains,
I want to go straight in.
Yeah, I know someone who lives in West Virginia.
All right, let's go stay with them.
Let's go stay with them. I haven't spoken to her in about 15 years. Hey, girl.
Hey, Jason.
All right, if me and Suzie come down, because we're going to do some ghost hunting.
Actually, KAITLYN,
yes,
could you let us know if Josh is a free room for us?
Oh my God, imagine staying with Josh. No, because they're in Texas, Dallas.
Yeah.
But I do want to know how fit Josh is.
Yeah, let us know.
So if you could email in with like update on Josh, or if anyone knows Josh who lived in Dallas, Texas, who wore jeans once, please do let us know.
I also love Madison.
Madison.
Classic Madison, that.
Classic.
She will do that.
Shall we do it? We get haunted so you don't have to. Have you got one for us?
No, but you have one.
Oh, you want me to do one? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, where's my bag? Where's my bag?
Oh, I'm getting a bit
I've left
peckish.
it out there.
Shall I do the choose your own adventure?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, so this is a choose your own adventure. I love doing these.
Yeah,
this is like my
I've
favourite.
noticed.
It's like my favourite thing to do ever.
Yeah, we're not technically contacting the dead, but it doesn't matter.
No, but it's still, like it's a bit spooky, isn't it? I'm really jealous that you get to do this.
I'll do it for you.
Yeah, okay. Oh my God, I'm so excited. And also, Huns, play along.
It's dark on the moors. The rain intensifies. You have no idea where you are or where you might find shelter. Head into the trees on the hilltop or search for a path or scan the horizon. What do you want to do?
Look for a path, obviously. You
Which
have to
one's
look
that?
for a path.
There's no path.
At the end, you're dead.
The ground is boggy. You can't imagine feeling warm again. Head towards the trees.
Okay.
You are drawn to the glimmer of a fire in the clearing. Do you walk towards the light or move away?
No, I walk towards the fire because that suggests people and they can tell me how to get home.
3 figures greet you, gesturing toward their bubbling cauldron. This isn't looking good, is it? One mumbles under her breath, the others cackle. Do you want to climb into the pot or talk to them first?
Okay, obviously talk to them first.
We've been waiting for you, Spirit, says one witch. Command us, says the other. The third continues to mumble. Do you want to either attack the third witch or take command?
Okay, this is getting a bit mental.
It's gone a bit mad, yeah.
Attack.
Attack.
Yeah. I don't like her muttering, actually.
She's a bit scary, isn't she? There's no need to attack. Why would you think such a thing? You giggle childishly. Climb into the pot. What's happening?
Telling me to climb into the pot.
The broth is as welcoming as a hot bath. You feel oddly relaxed. Your cares and form dissolve to the delight of your hosts. The end. You die.
Well,
you've been turned into a big Suzie stew. Well, that was stunning. If you want some more, if you want some bonus episodes, go to patreon.com/ghosthuns.
Yes.
Because our sketches will be on there as well.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.